If you remember last Sunday, Mr. Steve was telling us all about his near-death experience. Well, guess what? This is what happened to Mr. Steve. All because of this tree, which fell whilst Steve was walking by. Let's just say Mr. Steve had a brush with death last weekend. It was very dramatic. Fortunately, Steve was safe and well, which of course is lucky for all of us. We are back. We are here again together. It's so nice to be with you once more. Hi everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy? Do you have one of these on your face? I hope you have this in front of your nose at the moment, because we are here together again, and yes, it is English Addict with myself, Mr. Duncan. I love English. You might say that I am an English addict because I like English very much. By the way, we have the most amazing weather today. We have 10 Celsius outside. This is what it looks like. Isn't that lovely? We have sunshine, we have warm weather, we even have blue sky above, which is rather nice indeed. It does feel as if spring is on its way. Over the next few days it is going to get very warm, so we do have 10 Celsius today. However, next week apparently it's going to be even warmer, up to 15 Celsius. Very mild indeed. It really does feel as if spring is definitely coming our way. I hope you are having a super time today. It is, of course, a new month. March has arrived. February is now just a distant memory. How was February for you? Was it a good month? Did anything exciting happen? Anything nice? I know some of you have been going away on holiday. One or two of you in other parts of the world have been taking trips to nice places. So I hope you are having a nice time, and also I hope you had a nice time as well. So, English Addict, why do I do this? That is a question I ask myself quite often, to be honest with you. Why do I do this? Well, first of all, I love the English language. I like it, and I have a feeling that you also like English. Maybe you are very excited to learn English, or maybe I think many people actually want to improve their English. There are many people who have what I like to call intermediate English. So maybe you know lots of words, lots of sentences, but maybe you want to improve on your spoken English, which is, as I always say, the hardest part of learning any language. Not just English, but any language. The hardest part is always speaking the language. For two reasons. Of course, you have to remember what to say. You have to be able to recall the words that you have learned in your second language. And then, of course, you have to do it it is a little bit like performing. I always say that speaking, even if you are just in a normal situation during the day, speaking is a type of performance. Quite often we don't even realise we're doing it. Maybe if you meet your friends or relatives, you will speak to them. But quite often you won't even think about it as you do it. It is something that is natural. So if you are learning a second language, one of the hardest parts of doing it is, of course, using it verbally. To speak the language is very hard to do. So I think one of the reasons why many people like to join my live stream is so you can hear English being spoken, being used in an informal way. That is the reason why I have lots of viewers today. Talking of which, yes, we do have the live chat. It would not be the live chat without you being there. Also, we've mentioned him already. I'm going to mention him again. He will be with us at around about 2:30. Mr. Steve will be with us. He will be joining us live in the studio. Lots of things to talk about, including his rather unfortunate moment last week. Something happened. If you were watching at the start of today's live stream, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. So we do have Mr. Steve. Today we have subjects to talk about. We have a very interesting subject, talking all about sharing. You share things, to share your food, to share information. So we are looking at the action and the way of using the word share, to give, to share out a certain thing. Of course, the word can be used in many different ways, and there are many ways of expressing the action of sharing. You might say that I am sharing my enjoyment of the English language with you. Very similar situation when you think about it. Also, if you remember last week, we had a little game. Sometimes we like to play some games here. Last week we had Guess the Picture Idiom. Very popular. I received a lot of comments and messages about our little quiz last week. So guess what? We are doing it again. We are going to play Guess the Picture Idiom. That is coming up later as well, because it would appear that a lot of people enjoyed it. So if you did enjoy it, guess what? You will have another chance to enjoy it today. Back to the live chat. Hello, live chat. We have, very interesting. Beatrice, you are first on today's live chat. Congratulations, Beatrice. I hope you are feeling good today. You may have noticed there is no particular reason for this, by the way, but you may have noticed that I am wearing my dark t-shirt. This is something that I very rarely wear. So normally I have my white t-shirt and also I have my red t-shirt. Today I'm wearing my black t-shirt. There is a reason for it. Don't worry, nothing bad has happened. Well, not to me anyway. Nothing unfortunate has occurred. So the reason why I'm wearing my black t-shirt is because I am washing the other ones. You know what happens sometimes. One of my most unfavourite chores. Something I really dislike doing is washing my clothes. It is just so annoying. You have to do so much. You have to put them in the washing machine, then you have to get them out, then you have to hang them up to dry. And of course, during the winter, when it's cold, it is very hard to dry your clothes. You can't hang them outside because they will never dry because it's very damp and cold. So during this time of year, I don't like washing my clothes. Unfortunately, I had to wash my red and also my white t-shirt that I wear for my live streams. So I'm wearing this one today. There is no significance. There is no particular reason why I'm wearing my black t-shirt. The only reason is because my other t-shirts are being washed. That's it. Nothing else. Because we often think when a person is wearing a particular colour, we often think maybe it is a reflection of how they feel, or maybe their mood. How do you feel today? Are you in a colourful mood? Or maybe you are in a sombre mood. We often think of black as a colour that is sombre if you are wearing clothes in that particular colour. So if a person is wearing black, quite often we think maybe they are sad, or perhaps they are mourning something. They feel sad for a certain reason, quite often as a sign of respect as well. A person might wear black if you are going to a funeral or some sort of commemoration. You will often wear dark clothing. But no, there is no particular reason, even though I'm sure there could be a reason, maybe. But there isn't. There is not. Hello, Vitas. You are second today. You are in second place. And also we have Claudia. Hello, Claudia. I know that you are back from your holiday. You had a vacation. I hope you had a super time, even though I do believe you were not very well during your holiday. I think one of the worst situations to be in is if you go on holiday, if you go away somewhere and then something bad happens whilst you're on holiday. I've heard terrible, terrible stories from people recounting their own experience of going on holiday and then something terrible happens. So maybe a person goes somewhere exotic, warm, beautiful, and then during the holiday they have an accident. Maybe they fall over and injure themselves, or maybe they break their leg or their arm whilst on holiday. I can't think of a worse situation to be in than going away on holiday and then having some sort of incident, something that happens that's dramatic, and maybe it stops you from enjoying your holiday. It's not very nice, is it really? I don't think I am... I'm trying to think now. Have I ever had a holiday where something has gone wrong? You know what? I haven't. I have never had a holiday or a trip where something has gone horrendously wrong. Never. It's never happened to me, but I know it can happen sometimes. There are certain things that you do, certain places you might travel to, where you want everything to go smoothly. You don't want any problems. You don't want any dramatic situations. Quite often when things happen, when things occur, we can define them as types of occurrence. things that happen. The instance. When we talk about the instance, we mean the actual moment that that thing occurs. So the instance of something is the actual happening. The moment that that thing occurs is the instance. The instance of happening is any type of occurrence. Of course, there are many ways of expressing occurrence and many ways of showing it in any situation where something is happening. For example, you might have action. We talk about action, we talk about something that is actually going on, something that is occurring, the occurrence of something. Quite often we talk about action. Then, of course, we can also talk about movement. The occurrence normally is an event, a thing that is happening. And, of course, quite often there is movement, something that is happening. I suppose many people these days like to watch TV. They like to watch the news. There is always some action taking place. There is always some movement occurring, something to watch, something to keep you occupied, something that is happening. There is movement, there is action. And then, of course, we have this word. Quite often when we talk about something happening, we can also describe it as drama. It's a great word, by the way, drama. Something that is happening. We often think of drama as something that may be exciting, or maybe perhaps something that is a little scary even. Something that makes you feel excited, something that is interesting to watch or look at is drama. A lot of people like to watch television shows, television dramas, where something is happening. Movies, maybe something that is being shown as an action, can be described as drama. Perhaps you go to the theatre. I just wonder nowadays, do people still go to the theatre? I don't think as many people go to see a show at the theatre as they used to. I remember during the 1980s and certainly during the 1990s, going to the theatre to watch a show was incredibly popular. It really was. It was a huge industry. So if you are watching something that has action, movement, drama, there is quite often some sort of activity. Some activity is taking place. Once again, activity can also relate to the occurrence of something. Something is happening. There is activity. Although I would say that activity can also be something that you are actually doing as a type of pursuit. Maybe a sport. Perhaps you take part in some activity. So maybe you and a group of people are all doing a similar thing. So we often describe that also as something people are doing, quite often in a group. Maybe in the morning you take part in some sort of activity to keep you healthy and fit. And then, of course, an occurrence, something that is happening, can be described as a situation. A situation is anything that is happening. Maybe you are watching your neighbours next door. Maybe they are fighting in the garden. Perhaps they are having a big argument. You might say there is a situation taking place next door. Something is happening. There is action, movement, drama, activity. There is a situation taking place. And of course, all of those things come under that one word, types of occurrence, the instance of something happening. Quite often we think of dramatic things, exciting things, but of course, not everything in life can be exciting, not everything can be dramatic. Sometimes life can be dull, boring, tedious. Maybe sometimes if you have nothing to do, time might go by slowly. Sometimes we wish something would happen. We are looking for some type of occurrence. It is naming that moment where something is happening. Talking of things happening, in a few moments we have Mr. Steve coming up. He will be here with us, so I hope you can stick with us. We do have Mr. Steve. We have an interesting topic to talk about today. We will be talking all about sharing. We all like to share. Maybe you are sharing something that is yours, but you want other people to enjoy it as well. For example, I am sharing my love of the English language. And I hope you are enjoying everything that you are seeing today. I nearly said enduring. There is a difference between those two words. To enjoy and endure. They are very different words. If you enjoy something, it means you like it. If you endure something, it means you have to try and struggle through that thing. Perhaps you are in pain. Perhaps you are doing something you don't want to do. You have to endure that thing. I hope that helps you. And of course, we will be having some fun with Guess the Picture Idiom. All of that coming up later on, right after this. Mr. Steve will be here. He will be live in the studio telling us all about what is going on in his life. This is English Addict. Keep it right here.
I'm a big boy now.
English Addict is with you today. I hope you are having a good day wherever you are in the world. My name is Mr. Duncan. I talk about English. I've noticed on the live chat many of you are talking about technology today. Well, guess what? Yesterday, Mr. Steve and myself, we were busy playing around with some technology. Perhaps we will talk about that in a few moments' time. Talking of which, we just mentioned him. Oh yes, he is here, waiting patiently. Today, because March has arrived, I suggested to Mr. Steve that maybe he should wear something bright, something with a little bit of colour, maybe. So, today, that's exactly what Mr. Steve has done. He looks very, very bright. But you don't need me to tell you that because he's here right now. Yes, it is the one, the only, Mr. Steve.
Hello, wonderful, beautiful people from across the globe. Here we are again. Well, I'm wearing a yellow top, but on the monitor I'm looking here, it's a funny shade of greeny yellow.
That's it, don't worry. Don't worry, Steve.
It's actually bright yellow,
Yes.
the colour of buttercups.
It does look lovely. It looks nice on camera. It still looks nicer than the red. So
well,
I have to say,
yes, I think you need to make some adjustments, Mr. Duncan.
No,
How are you all?
I don't have to make any adjustments.
I hope you are all well.
Steve is always telling me how to do my job.
But this, the colour I'm seeing on there is not the colour I'm looking at here.
Okay. All right.
That's all right. It doesn't matter, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. How
No.
are you all? Talking of technology, Lewis is ahead of me. He's upgraded to Windows 11.
Yes.
I'm still on old-fashioned Windows 10.
Well, I thought your new laptop was Windows 11.
No, it's Windows 10.
Really?
I can upgrade it to Windows 11. It keeps prompting me to do it. But I haven't, because you, Mr. Duncan, have advised me not to.
Well, at the moment, I don't want to get too deep into this particular thing because a lot of people are at the moment wondering whether they should update their technology. But I noticed, yes, Lewis, by the way, I haven't said hello yet to Lewis Mendez is here today. Hello, Lewis. Nice to see you here. Lewis has been playing around with technology, updating his computer to Windows 11, as Steve just mentioned.
Well, we can ask how it's gone when we very hopefully see you in Paris for our meetup at the end of May. We can ask you how Windows 11 update is going. Are the programs working well, etc. Monte Elia, I think you pronounce it like that, saying hello from Venice. We have friends who are in Venice at the moment. Two very good friends of ours. One, I went to college with her many years ago, and her and her husband are currently in Venice, probably in a nice gondola right now, being serenaded through one of the lovely canals.
By what though?
Yes, a couple of gondoliers.
The gondoliers, of
the
course.
Gondoliers, or gondolieri.
Which just happens to be a... Okay, is it that funny?
I don't know, I'm laughing because it's the subject of a Gilbert and Sullivan operetta which I've been in.
Yeah, Steve actually, sometimes he will act on stage. So yes, in the past.
I was Marco.
Wait there, Steve. Maybe one day we can have a look at some of the things that Steve has done on stage. That sounds like fun. Who were you playing?
Marco and my friend Giuseppe. We were two gondolieri in this. You can look it up. You can look it up. I think Take a Pair of Sparkling Eyes is one of the songs that I had to sing, if I remember rightly, from that particular operetta. It's just fun, and we can play it, Mr. Duncan, because it's out of copyright.
Yes.
So there shouldn't be any problems with that.
That's good.
But yes, thinking of Venice and Italy and our friends over there right now, hopefully having a lovely time, probably drinking better coffee than we are.
Although, what does that mean? My coffee is very nice, actually.
Oh,
Steve.
you know how
Anyway, Steve, before we start talking about the ins and outs of my coffee making, imagine going to Venice and actually being afraid of water. If you don't like boats, if you don't like being on a boat, for goodness sake, do not go to Venice, because most of it is water. Just a little tip there. By the way, we did mention that just the Paris rendezvous. I suppose we should mention it, Steve, very quickly.
Definitely.
Sunday, the 1st of June. I know it is a long way off, but we are giving you plenty of chance, plenty of opportunity to come and join us on the 1st of June in Paris. We will be having our lovely super duper English addict rendezvous. So all of that will be happening. And of course, over the next few weeks, we will give you details, and you are more than welcome to join us.
Yes, be there or be square, as the saying goes.
Does anyone say that anymore?
I don't know. It's an old saying that people used to say.
Yes.
Be there or be square. In other words,
to be square, of course, was a very popular way of describing a person who was old-fashioned or boring.
Not with it.
Not in the 60s, in the 1960s that happened.
Yes. Yes, it means you're not up to date. You're not with the in crowd. So if you're be there or be square means if you're with us, you're with it. You're on the up. You're with you're with the influential people, the people that matter. Anyway, but that's just a funny expression.
Yes, the in crowd.
Yes, that's it. You want to be seen with people in the in crowd.
Well, that is definitely not us.
In that case, don't come, because people will watch the videos and say, ha, 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 you're with those two, ha, ha, ha.
Okay.
Not really. They will say, oh, I'm so envious, I wanted to be there too. Well, you've got time to plan to be there in Paris on the 1st of May, did you say, Mr. Duncan?
No.
What was the date again?
The 1st of June.
1st of June. Sunday the 1st of June. I must remember this because I've got to get on a plane.
It would be a good idea to remember when we are meeting up in Paris.
Sunday 1st of June. And it's a holiday on the Monday, on the 2nd, I believe, in Italy. So there's no excuse for you to fly over or catch a train.
There's no excuse for you not to fly over.
That's it. There's no excuse for you not to fly over, yes.
No, not the opposite.
And come and meet us. Meet and greet. Take part in a live stream, and which was a lot of fun last year and the year before. And if you're new to this channel and haven't seen what happens in a live stream with all our YouTube fans, would you call them people fans?
That's one
all
word.
All our students.
Yes.
When we all meet up and do a live stream together.
Yes. Basically, come along. You can meet other people. You can meet me, and also you can see how we do this as well. You can actually be involved in a live stream as well. We have lots of things to talk about today, by the way, Mr. Steve.
Tell you what we mustn't talk about. food.
Food.
Because we've got, we must respect the fact we have Muslim viewers watching us, and it's Ramadan at the moment, so we mustn't get too excited about food. Although I do want some cake, Mr. Duncan. I'm looking forward to 4 o'clock when I can have some cake. Right.
Okay, so don't mention food and then mention food.
I know, I'm joking.
I have no idea. You haven't been bitten by the pheasant, have you?
No, I haven't seen the pheasant today.
Last week, Mr. Steve had a very dramatic moment, and I'm going to show you the actual thing, the actual place where Mr. Steve had his brush with death last week. Look at that. So this is the tree that fell last week whilst Mr. Steve was out walking, and you just managed to avoid being hit by that tree, didn't you?
Yes, so just to repeat the story, I was going for a walk. It was a bit windy, but not too bad. Went up there, heard a loud crack. I was going up that path. I heard a loud crack to my right, and I instinctively ran. My instincts kicked in like some gazelle.
Okay.
And I just ran, and then 10 seconds later, this tree came crashing down exactly where I'd been 10 seconds before. So I turned around and watched it crash to the floor, and thinking, goodness gracious, how 10 seconds earlier I wouldn't have been on the live stream last week.
Yeah.
So it was a close call, as we say. If you've had a close call, it means you've been very close to something dramatic happening, or a brush with death, as I called it.
Yes,
it was rather dramatic, but as you can see, it was a big tree that had fallen down.
But the thing was, when you were telling me the story of your adventure, I couldn't actually
visualize.
I couldn't appreciate just how severe and how deadly that thing could have been. So I was really shocked when I went up to the top during the week to do some filming for a new lesson, and I was really surprised just how serious that could have been. We could have lost Mr. Steve last week. He could have been squashed by a tree. Fortunately, he hasn't. So
thank you, Beatrice. Monte is interested in coming to see us in Paris and wanted your email address. But Beatrice has put it up there, Mr. Duncan at ymail.com.
Yes,
that right?
Also it's underneath this video.
It's clearly
marked under the video. So if you are interested in coming along, at the moment we are just in the early stages of arranging the Paris rendezvous for 2025, but it is always nice to give you plenty of time to make your arrangements if you are interested in coming along. It should be quite exciting, actually.
So if you do want to come along, and a lot of you already have, just send Mr. Duncan an email, and then we'll know who's coming, and then nearer the time we're going to put a WhatsApp group together, aren't we, Mr. Duncan? Nearer the time.
And yes, not yet.
No, not yet. That's why I said nearer the time.
That's it.
So that we can coordinate things when we're all over there.
So if you think you might be coming, just say, I might be coming, Mr. Duncan. I might come along, and that's it. That's it for now. That's all you need to do. I did receive an interesting email from someone in Vietnam who said they wanted to come along, but they're only 11 years old, and so I'm thinking maybe at such a young age, maybe getting on a plane and flying all the way to Paris is probably not a good idea.
Well, so they'd need a chaperone.
We definitely need
probably a parent,
some adult supervision.
Yes.
So please, if you are a young person, please, you have to bring your parents. Please don't try to make your way across the world. It's not Home Alone 2. To be honest with you. Anyway, Mr. Steve and myself, we have lots of things to talk about today. We are looking at sharing. I think it's good to share. There are many ways of expressing the word share. And because last week it was so popular, we are going to play that game again. Guess the picture idiom. I've actually created some more out of this brain. None of that artificial intelligence. It's human intelligence. You can forget all about AI. I prefer to use HI up here in the brain. So that is coming up as well today. The live stream is very busy today, by the way. Lewis says, I had to change to Windows 11 because I could not open some old window. I would imagine it would be programs that have not been updated. I would imagine, yes. A lot of people at this time of year have received notifications, Steve, and we were playing around with technology yesterday because Steve has a new phone. So yesterday we decided, we've been putting it off for a long time because, to be honest with you, anything connected to technology, and Mr. Steve, we often avoid. But yesterday we decided to do it. We set up Mr. Steve's new phone and it works okay. However, a lot of people have been notified about updating their computers to Windows 11, including me. But of course, a lot of people aren't doing it because maybe their computer is not powerful enough, or maybe it needs some expensive hardware updates. So that's the reason why. But apparently this year, later this year, they are going to stop supporting Windows 10. So that the support for that, all of the updates will stop. So I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are now trying desperately to update to Windows 11. But you are right, yes, some... Where are you going?
Just picking up my pen, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, I see. Are you fidgeting?
I'm fidgeting and it fell out of my hand.
So a lot of people are updating their computers. Mr. Steve is feeling happy today because he now has a slightly larger phone. So now Mr. Steve can actually type on the phone, can't you?
I do find that the symbols on... Well, I had this old phone. How old was the phone? 10 years old? Something like that?
The phone you've been using was my old iPhone 6S, which now... It must be over 10 years old.
Definitely, because I had an iPhone 6 at my last company I worked for, and that was, very old. I think the iPhone 6 goes back 15 years, doesn't it? Probably.
No, the iPhone 6 is about 10 years old, Steve.
Right.
Because we are now on the iPhone 16. So just from my maths... I think it's 10 years.
It's a lot faster, and the battery isn't running out every 10 hours,
yes,
which it was on my old phone, because the batteries don't last forever, do they?
No.
And I was finding that I had to charge it up twice a day, even if I wasn't using it. Which is a bit frustrating when you are going away somewhere, because you want 2 or 3 days battery use, don't you?
Yes.
Would be useful. So, yes, this is looking promising, much better, Mr. Duncan. But we were worried about setting it up because of losing... the last time I set up a phone, I did it myself. And for some reason, you want to keep all your phone numbers in the new phone.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of phone numbers in my phone because I use it for work as well.
Okay.
So I have all my customers in there. I've probably got 150 contacts in there at least, with personal contacts as well. And for some annoying reason, it duplicated all the accounts, or all the what do you call them?
Contacts.
Pardon, Mr. Duncan?
contacts.
Yes, it duplicated all the contacts, and I had to spend hours going through deleting all the duplicates. In fact, once I had three triplicates of everything in there.
Yes.
And I think the mistake I made, anyway, we won't go into it.
No,
but it didn't.
This is scintillating, Mr. Steve.
Well, but other people might have had this. I've seen this on the forums. That people update their phones and they get duplicates or triplicates of every contact.
And that's because they are doing it wrong.
That's it. So with your guidance, Mr. Duncan, your expert guidance in technology, we were able to successfully transfer everything across to my new phone without any duplication.
I'm getting a hint of sarcasm there.
Sarcasm? Moi?
Anyway, it works perfectly. Mr. Steve likes the big writing. You can see the font now as well because everything is really large and his big fingers can now type without everything coming out wrong. It's very busy on the live chat, by the way.
Yes, I was going to say yes to Beatrice there. I can try that now because it wouldn't work on my other phone. Thank you. Yes, you see, Saturino says the colour is pistachio. It's actually yellow. Yes, but it's not coming across on the camera. I'm
matching your skin colour. You see, because if I put your natural skin colour on the screen, you'll look like a cherry.
Think of this as actually
yellow.
Yellow, like a buttercup, bright yellow.
I would imagine out there in YouTube land, most people can imagine yellow.
But yeah, it's actually coming over as green pistachio.
Yeah.
Pistachio ice cream. That's lovely, isn't it?
Or maybe avocado.
Maybe yes, avocado.
A lot of people used to have bathrooms in avocado, or even that colour.
In the 70s.
That colour was very popular for people's bathrooms. All of the bath and the toilet and the wash basin, they would all be in that very similar colour to
Yes, in the 70s, bright colours for your bathroom suite were de rigueur, shall we say.
What does that mean?
It was, you had to have it. It was all the norm. Everybody had it. And you got bright. When we moved into our house in Wolverhampton, the bathroom suite was bright orange. Or it was very common in the 70s to get bright orange, sort of avocado green, or brown.
Ugh.
Brown.
Imagine having a brown toilet. How would you know it was dirty?
Exactly. So you either think that it's, from the smell probably.
Yeah. Well, you'd go for a number 2 and look in there, and then it would be as if it disappeared into another universe. It's very strange.
I know. Dark brown, orange or green was very at least here in the UK in the 70s.
I think the worst colour I've ever seen is this postbox red. I've seen people with actual bathroom. Now, you don't say furniture. We normally say your bathroom accessories or your bathroom suite, things that go together in a collection.
Is that SUIT? Would you pronounce
yes.
That? Is that
a
correct?
A suite is E as well. Don't forget. Suite is the collection of things that go together. And during the 1970s, people had horrible colours in their bathrooms. Very, very, not very easy on the eye, let's just say. We are coming up to 3 o'clock. This is English Addict, for those wondering. And guess what, Mr. Steve? Now, technically, spring has arrived. Because when March comes along, apparently it's also the start of the meteorological springtime, even though technically it isn't spring yet. But apparently, because March has arrived, and we are going to have some lovely, lovely warm weather next week. It is going to be as high as 15 Celsius. Can you believe it? Amazing.
But it does feel like spring. It feels like spring is on the way because some of the daffodils are coming out.
Yes.
The snowdrops are out, the lovely white snowdrops. And you can feel, isn't it strange when you get to spring? You can feel it, you can sense it. And it's not just the temperature, there's an atmosphere. The sun starts to come out. The birds start singing. I've noticed that the birds are singing everywhere at the moment. They're getting excited because spring is on the way. Plants are starting to come out of the ground, and we've got a little bit of some of the trees are what's the phrase I'm looking for? Yeah, they're some of the trees are starting to let off some pollen.
They're coming out into bud.
Into bud, some of them, and you can sense that spring is on the way. It's a feeling that you get, isn't it?
I do like that. You could go outside, you step outside, you feel the sun on your face, you breathe in the fresh air, you can hear the birds all excited around you because many of them now will start looking for a mate, or maybe they will start building their nests. Blackbirds are normally the first birds to start nesting and having chicks. So I would imagine now the blackbirds are all starting to get ready for the breeding season. There's no answer
They'll
for that.
be busy.
Yeah, that should
and
keep
we'll be
them,
busy doing live streams.
that should keep them occupied. I have no time for any of that stuff. Mr. Steve, in a moment we are going to take a look at some words, phrases connected to sharing things. We like to share things. We like to offer something that we have, maybe part of it or even all of it. We like to share things with other people. I would now like to share with you a moment of time that we experienced when we were on holiday a few years ago. English Addict is with you today. I've adjusted Mr. Steve's camera. I wonder if this looks better. What do you think, Steve?
Yes, it looks more yellow now.
Yes, but so do you.
That's all right.
You look red now. You look like you're a bit angry. It must be your high blood pressure.
That's all right. I don't mind looking a bit like I've got a bit more colour.
Yes.
I'm
not sure if red is a colour that you should be.
I think I look quite... Do I look better, viewers? Do I look better now than I did before?
I don't think it's too bad. No, I think you look all right today, Steve. Let's just say you look great and leave it at that. Maybe. Anyway, English Addict is with you today. Today, we are looking at a very interesting subject, talking about sharing. Maybe, for some of us, maybe there should be more sharing in the world. Perhaps we should be sharing more. Maybe that is the secret to humanity moving forwards. Although, at the moment, unfortunately, I don't think so. It looks highly unlikely to me, judging by what is happening in the world at the moment. Share, Mr. Steve, and we are not talking about the lady from the 1960s. The lady who had lots of songs in the charts. We're not talking about that particular share. We are talking about this word, to share things. So we are going to go very quickly through this, and then afterwards we can play the game which is Guess the picture idiom. In general terms, the word share means to give amongst others. So that is the general term, as giving, giving out, to share, to give amongst others. So in its general term, that is how we would probably express the word. To divide equally or in part with other people is to share. So maybe something you have, you are doing that thing as an action. In that sense, we are using it as a verb. So share as a verb, to give to others, as a part. So when we say as a part, what do we mean, Mr. Steve? If we say that we are giving something as a part, what do we mean?
I'm not sure what you mean there, Mr. Duncan. Share as a verb, give to others. You mean like if you were dividing something up?
Yes. Exactly.
You can tell we don't confer before these live streams. Mr. Duncan puts me on the spot. Yes. So yes, you've got something and then you divide it up, like a cake, for example. There's a group of people. I'm saying cake because it's funny how cake came into my brain then, isn't it?
Yes.
That tells you what I'm really thinking about. What my subconscious is telling me that I want at this moment is some cake. So if you were all here, I would get a big cake. It would have to be a big cake, and cut it up into portions and share that cake with you. Yes, you might be in a restaurant or in a cafe, and you buy some cake for yourself, and then you have 2 or 3 friends with you, and you share it with them. You give them a slice each from that cake.
So
or you might have some sweets, for example. You might have some gobstoppers, or you might have some fruit pastilles.
What?
Fruit pastels, and you share them with your friends.
What's a
you have
pastille?
one, you give one to a friend. You share.
Yeah, as it says on the screen right now, share a cake, you share a cake with someone. So that means that you are not having the thing all to yourself. You are going to take part of that thing and share it with other people. Maybe Mr. Steve and myself, maybe we will share a cake. 2 people will divide and enjoy the same thing. You might, now here is something you often do when you go out for a meal with friends, Mr. Steve. You might go out with your friends. We often say that you share the bill. You divide and pay an equal amount. So most people, when they go out, I know some people are very awkward, aren't they, Steve?
Yes. Yes, you go out with a group of friends, and some people, say there are 4 of you, and you might have had a starter, a few drinks, a main course, a sweet, another sweet, this a different kind of sweet, an SWEET. And there's an interesting word. You use the word sweet, Mr. Duncan, with all the different spellings. But anyway, for another day. And you come to the bill, and of course, people will have all had slightly different things. Some people might have had more drinks than others, and some people might not have had a starter, and others might not have had a pudding or a sweet.
Yes.
Or some people might have had an expensive main course and others had a cheap one. So what do you do? Do you decide that you're just going to split it 4 ways, and because it's easier, or does each person add up exactly what they've had? Do they add up the cost of their starter, their drinks, their main course, and then you divide the bill according to exactly what each person actually had?
Yes.
Which most of the time, probably we don't do that. But I used to get quite annoyed when I would go out with friends groups of friends in the past, and I was always the one that was driving, for example, and so I wouldn't be drinking alcohol. They'd be having, lots of drinks, alcoholic drinks.
Okay.
I'd be just on water or something. But they would still want to split the bill, divided equally amongst everyone that was there. And in the end, one day I said, look, this isn't fair because I'm effectively paying for your drinks.
So Steve, this is turning into just you moaning, by the way.
Yes. So, yeah, is it fair? I think if you pretty much know you've all had similar things, then it is fair. But you can get this imbalance, can't you, with certain friends who might buy expensive things knowing that it's going to be split 4 ways.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes that happens. A good situation, of course, is if somebody is on a diet. So maybe they go for a meal and they just have very small portions or just one small meal or part of the meal. So it doesn't cost as much. But then you still divide it and you are paying more for a small meal because you are dividing it equally into equal portions. But of course, quite often, if friends go out together, quite often they will go Dutch, which I always think is a very interesting phrase. If you go Dutch, that means you will just pay for the things that you've had. So each person is paying for their meal, whatever they've had. So you go Dutch. You are just paying for your part of the meal, the things you've physically had, the things you have actually eaten. You go Dutch.
It gets very complicated with a large group of people if everyone is trying to add up exactly what they had. And so usually people will, for example, we've been out with my sister and her husband, and they've had their 2 children with them, and me and Duncan. So that would be 6 people, but we wouldn't split it in 2. We would my sister and her husband would say, well, we'll pay for the children. So yeah, there are some people are very good, and they will point out that it's only fair that you don't pay for these 2 people, our children, for example.
Yeah.
But other people will, I've got into arguments with people before because I've felt that they've been very unfair that the way they split it. And sometimes, even if I haven't been driving, I haven't wanted to drink alcohol.
I think you've just explained this, Steve.
No, but sometimes I didn't want to. But they said, well, you could have had some.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you can get into these rows with people. But anyway, yes. Split it. Or as Saturino says, in the US, you say you split the bill.
Yes, of course.
Or share the bill. So thanks for that.
There are actually many ways of halve the bill. If there's 2 of you, you halve the bill. So there are many ways of explaining or expressing that. To share an experience, you might do the same thing as someone else. Or maybe as a group of people, you share the experience. Maybe, by the way, never ever share a secret with Mr. Steve. He cannot keep a secret.
I can.
You are hopeless at keeping secrets. Share a secret?
Beatrice is very good at keeping secrets.
Why? Oh, sorry.
No, nothing.
Oh, that's it.
That's a secret, Mr. Duncan.
Okay. Well, now you've shared it. So it's not a secret anymore. Share a secret you confide or tell in confidence. So that's an interesting phrase. You confide or you tell in confidence. To tell something in confidence. How would you describe that, Steve?
Share a secret, confide or tell in confidence. Yes, that means you're telling somebody some knowledge that you know, and you don't want them to tell anybody else. And it could be that you could be something to do with, I don't know, maybe you've got an illness, for example, and you've got a very good friend and you want to share some information with them, because it helps to talk, doesn't it? And you trust that person, that friend, enough that you can tell them something that they won't share with other people, that you wouldn't want to know, particularly at work, for example. You might share some news with a friend. You might say, I went out last night for a meal with Bob, or whoever that person is, and we had a nice time. Yes, but you're implying that you went on a date. You went on a date with somebody at work, which isn't allowed, by the way, in a lot of companies.
Okay.
But you did it anyway, and you told this friend at work, and don't tell anyone. It's a secret. I don't want you to tell anyone. No. And of course, they always do.
So to tell something in confidence means you feel comfortable telling someone a certain thing, quite often something you are keeping to yourself, such as a secret or something you don't want to tell everyone. So you confide in another person. So I think that's quite an interesting word. To confide is to say something, or say something to a person who you trust. Normally information that is secret. You are confident that they will not transfer that information elsewhere. Something very interesting has just come up. You're confident that you won't, that information won't go elsewhere, or somewhere else. But yeah, you've got to know your friends. But the thing is, when you share a confidence or share a secret with somebody like that, with a friend, do you automatically expect that they will tell their partner? Now, this is an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, it's a bit off subject, but what is the protocol when it comes to telling secrets to people that are outside your wife, husband, partner? Because normally, if somebody tells me a secret, I will always tell Mr. Duncan. Quite often, yes.
And I think husbands and wives will share knowledge in that way.
Yes.
Whatever secret is told to, say, two partners, they live together, married.
I think we understand. Steve,
they get told secrets, but they always tell each other.
Steve, we've got to move on. We've got 30 more of these to look at, and then we've got to play the...
34?
No, 30 more.
30 more. Well, that's still a lot.
I'm going to buy Steve for Christmas. I'm going to get him one of those big ear trumpets. You know those ear trumpets years ago in Victorian times? There'd always be an old man in a bath chair, and he'd have a big ear trumpet so he could hear what people were saying. I'm going to get Mr. Steve one of those.
Well, you are a long way away, Mr. Duncan.
I'm just a few feet.
Yes, but your sound, the sound is muffled.
No.
Muffled.
I think, between you and me, I think Steve is going a bit mutton.
There's a muffled. You muffled. It means the sound is... You can't really hear it very well. The sound is muffled.
What does it sound like again?
You can't...
That's the most coherent thing you've ever said on my live stream.
I can't hear you. It sounds like you're muffled.
You might share a drink. You drink.
Hand over your face like that and try to talk. The sound is muffled. You can't really understand it. There we are. That's better.
Share a drink. You might drink and also socialise. So sharing a moment together or with a group of friends, you might share a drink. You can share a taxi. Ride in the same taxi and then divide the fare. So that would be something that I think would be acceptable if you took a cab or a taxi with someone else. Maybe you would share part of the journey or all of the journey, and then you can divide the cost of the cab. I think that's very nice.
Talking of transport, somebody put up, I can't remember who it was, a car sharing.
Yes.
Which is similar, but yeah, sometimes people are going to work, aren't they? and they're going to an office, and they've got friends that live nearby or on the way.
Or they work at the same place.
That's it. They work at the same place is what I meant to say. And then they will they might alternate. One day they might pick up their friend or another work colleague and drive to work like that, saving on the costs of transport. And they might take it in turns
That's it.
to do that.
As a portion or piece of something, and we can use share in that sense, but then we are, of course, using it as a noun. So the piece, the part of the thing that we are sharing is also a share. So part or portion of something, a share of a piece of cake, Mr. Steve's favourite subject today. A share of a piece of cake, a portion that is sliced off and offered. So you can share your cake, you can give someone a share of your cake.
Just in the same way that if you buy shares in a company...
Well, it's on the screen now.
Oh yes, that's it. Then you are buying a portion of that company.
Yes. So often we call it stock. You might buy some shares in a company, a portion of a company that is bought or given. So, of course, if you are lucky enough to work for a big company, quite often part of the payment, and this does happen, doesn't it, Steve, quite often in big companies, you can also get shares in the company as well. So they will, sometimes it's negotiated when you take on a job. Maybe you are given a salary, but also there might be some shares as well in the company that are also given to you, or maybe you can only use them or invest with them after you leave the company. It is almost something that we call a perk of the job.
Yeah, particularly directors of companies get a lot of shares quite often as part of their remuneration, which is the package that they get through the company. Shares might be part of that because it's probably cheaper for the company to pay a portion of their wages in shares than it is to actually give them money.
I think it's a very good idea, and of course, I suppose also it's very good for making sure your future is taken care of as well. As a plural, yes. Steve, moving on.
Yeah, Trin was ahead of you, by the way, on that, but so well done. Yeah.
As a plural, we use the term shares. You might own shares in a company. So as a generic or general term, when we are talking about a company that is giving away part of its stock, we generally talk about the shares, maybe the market, the market with all of the shares. So all of the different stock values that are put together as a lot of people who now invest in companies. It's amazing how many people are actual shareholders. They have shares in companies. Many elderly people now, don't they, Steve? Pensions. Now, in this country, I'm talking about generally, quite often, when you pay your pension into a private pension firm or an account, quite often that money will go into investing in other companies. So it is amazing just how many people these days do actually own shares.
Even if they don't realise.
Yes.
Because most company pensions now, they're all invested in the stock market, in these big funds, yes, which contain many companies, hopefully diversified out if they know what they're doing. And they've got shares in all these different companies. So yes, most people's pensions now in the private sector will all be based on stock market funds. If you're in the public sector, i.e. if you work for the government or you're a teacher, for example, or a policeman, then it won't be. It'll be paid directly out of taxes, your pension. But if you're working for a private company who has a pension scheme, and they must have one by law, then effectively, yes, all your pension is based on investments in stock market funds. Yes, probably slightly less safe than working, which is one
Steve.
attraction of working in the public sector, of course.
Okay.
Is that your pension is guaranteed pretty much, whereas because it's not based on stock market performance,
Steve, we've got to stop.
based on taxpayers.
Steve, I know you've been watching some videos about finance today.
I'm always watching videos about finance, Mr. Duncan.
I know you love sharing it with us.
I'm sharing knowledge, Mr. Duncan, sharing information.
Very, very nice. As a plural, we often describe them as shares. The shares of my company have gone up. If you are lucky, you can say the shares have gone up. Although at the moment, quite a few of the shares of companies are actually going down.
Rather, there's a volatility, Mr. Duncan.
There's a what?
There's a lot of volatility in
Ooh.
the stock markets at the moment.
So it's a bit like being on the sea during a storm. It's very volatile.
And that's due to one person.
Okay, Steve.
But anyway, we won't go into
Oh,
that.
for goodness sake, okay. Let's not ruin people's days. To give out, to reveal, to tell, or to share news with others. So quite often, in general, day-to-day speech, we will talk about sharing as in telling someone something. You have something to tell someone. You have something to share.
Share the news.
Yes, or maybe reveal, to share news with other people. Of course, we can also use share to express transmitting a virus. You spread, you share. Maybe, now of course, don't forget, this is not done on purpose. You are not doing it on purpose, but it does happen when you are near other people. Sometimes a person might sneeze and perhaps they have a fever. So you might transmit, you share your germs with someone else, but you don't mean to. It's just there in the air. You might share a cold or fever with another person, but not intentionally. It just happens. We all remember a certain period of time when that was going on, Steve. Do you remember it?
No.
Oh, okay. I actually believe that, by the way. Reveal is to share openly, to expose. Oh, Mr. Steve. There's an interesting word. Expose.
Expose a secret or a hidden thing. Yes, reveal. Yes, you're revealing something. Some knowledge is suddenly going out into the open for everyone to see. My throat's a bit... I'm going to share with you that my throat is not in the best of health today.
Why? What have you been doing?
I've been doing too much singing, Mr. Duncan. I think I've strained my vocal cords. But yes, to reveal is to share something. You reveal some news, some knowledge. I'm going to share this all with you now. I'm going to reveal the new plans for the business moving forward in 2025, which includes a number of redundancies.
Oh dear. To show something to others, you might share your holiday photos. So you are sharing something, you are showing something. A person might be quite excited because they want to share their holiday photographs. They want to show you what they have been doing whilst on holiday. To display something or many things physically or through media. So when you think about it these days, Steve, when we talk about sharing, most people think of sharing not in real life, but through the internet. So quite often on social media, people will share things. They will show photographs of their family or maybe a nice moment of time they want to show other people. They share that thing with them. I know you don't do it very often, Steve, do you? You don't really post things on social media, I've noticed.
Well, one, I don't know how to, and two, I've never really got into social media, or to put the phrase slightly better, I've never really participated in social media, because if once I start, it's going to take up a lot of my time, and I prefer not to do it at all. I mean, yes, WhatsApp, texts, but no, I don't do social media. I don't really. No, I haven't. I can't remember the last time I ever went. I have got a Facebook account, but I never go on it. But I probably should, because it's very useful to be able to communicate with all your friends all at the same time.
Yes.
For example, I should be using it to advertise to my friends when we've got concerts or shows coming up, because maybe I'd sell some tickets.
Yes.
Then.
Well, it's rather like me. I have Facebook. I enjoy showing certain things on Facebook, but also it's very useful for those who follow me on YouTube to be kept up to date with anything that is happening. So that is the reason why I have a Facebook page. And of course, famous people quite often will have their own social media site, although I'm pretty sure that most of those particular pages are not actually run by the celebrity. I would imagine they have somebody working for them to do all of that. To experience the same thing at the same time, Mr. Steve, is sharing, I suppose.
To share an experience.
Yeah.
Yes. There might be some task or some you might, for example, a lovely sunset. You might share that moment.
Yes.
Of the two people, or maybe a group of people, watching the sunset or watching something very pleasant. You share that moment. You can say that, obviously, you can express it that way. That you're, or you might go on an experience. Maybe you go to see to Africa on a tour to see the animals. What do you call that? Can't remember now.
Safari.
A safari, and with your partner or with a group of people, you share the experience together. You're all equally seeing the same thing.
Interesting. To connect, to share, you might join and experience something as well. So to connect with someone or to share with other people, you join and experience something together with a group of people. They often say that it is nice to do things with other people in a group, because then it is more fun, I suppose. Here we go, Steve. Here's an interesting phrase that we often use.
Fair share.
Your fair share of something. It is the equal or deserved amount given or allowed. So when we talk about someone's fair share, we are talking about that thing that they are entitled to, or maybe something they deserve. You must give me my fair share.
Yes, if you were dividing some money up or something like that, everyone would need to have an equal amount, their fair share. Yes, for example, if you had yes, if you've got a business and maybe you were selling things to people, maybe drinks in a stall or something like that, and there were 3 or 4 of you all working, a group of people working, doing something, maybe selling something, and then at the end of the day, you divide up the money that you've taken in. Well, if there were 4 people all working, maybe doing slightly different jobs, then they'd all want their fair share because they all would have contributed towards whatever that business was at the time.
And I suppose by extension, you could talk about the reward that is given to earn your fair share of the reward, to earn your fair share for work that you've done.
Yeah.
So something you are doing, if you are working for someone else, you expect to be paid your fair share. I think that's a very interesting phrase, actually. As a phrase, here we go, Steve. This is a good one. I love phrases. We are going to play the idiom picture game in a few moments, by the way. As a phrase, a trouble shared is a trouble halved. Oh, yes. I think this is a good type of sharing.
Yes, it refers to the sort of what happens if you have a problem, a worry, a trouble, or a worry on your mind, and you talk it out with somebody that you trust, family member, friend, partner. Then the burden of that problem lessens.
Yes,
because you once you've talked about it, they'll say something back, and then you'll feel better.
You might talk about the weight, how heavy something is. When you have a problem or a difficulty, it does feel as if you are carrying a large weight on your shoulders.
That's it.
So to share that problem is you are kind of lessening, or you are making that weight seem less heavy. It is kind of relieving yourself. The burden, the trouble, the problem has been shared. And quite often when you share a problem with another person, the problem doesn't seem quite as serious or as bad as you imagined.
Yes, because when you're worrying about something yourself, your mind, of course, gets very active and starts to fantasize about what could happen, might happen. But then when you talk it out with a friend, they will say, "Oh no, well that's this and this," and then you go, "Oh, of course, no, it's not," and it never doesn't seem as bad then. So
that's it.
Problem shared is a problem halved is just referring to the fact that when you talk a problem out with somebody, it seems a lot less, maybe not half as bad, but that's just a phrase.
It's just it's figurative. It's not exact. It is possible to overshare, and I think this is something a lot of people do. By the way, can I just address a comment? Abdallah Omar, do you advise me to listen to your lessons with or without translation? I would say with, definitely, because it is a good way of learning the meaning of words as you go along. So the translation is always useful. It is a very good way of improving your listening and also your understanding. Of course, you can also test yourself by not having the translation on the screen. But I would say if you are trying to learn English, with translations is always a good thing to do. It is possible to overshare. People these days, Mr. Steve, they like to tell you everything, don't they? They reveal embarrassing problems that they have. They like to talk about their illnesses, their things that are happening in their life that you don't really want to hear about, to be honest.
Yes, but it's maybe they're trying to halve their burden, of the problem. But yes, social media, of course, encourages people to talk about themselves a lot more. I mean, in the old days, shall we say, certainly when my parents were growing up, you would reveal as little as possible about your life to everybody else.
I think that's probably because they used to send it through Morse code and it would take too long.
People didn't like to, at least in this country, I don't know about other countries, but people didn't. It would be very embarrassing if people in the village, in the local town or village, found out something about you or something you'd done. But these days, I don't know, people are more brazen. They just sort of washes off. They don't care if people know.
What I'm actually addressing here is quite often people will talk openly about their illnesses, but sometimes these illnesses might be slightly embarrassing ones, but they still feel as if they have to share.
Well,
so from this word, oversharing is almost giving too much information, more than you really want to know.
Well, there was a television programme, wasn't there, Mr. Duncan, in the UK, a medical programme, there was this sort of doctor on there, and people from the public would come and see this doctor, and they would film it, and they would reveal all these problems about their bodies that they didn't like.
The embarrassing things.
Embarrassing Bodies, it was called.
Yes.
The show was actually called Embarrassing Bodies.
Yes, and you would see, I don't know how people can do this, but you would see everything on the TV. I don't know how people can actually do that. So I think, but this has become something now on social media as well, and in general society, where people they give too much information. They overshare. They give you too much. We don't want to know everything. Keep something to yourself. Keep something hidden.
I know. I mean, Embarrassing Bodies was and you just used to think somebody'd come on and they'd got maybe a skin condition or sometimes their private parts.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's sort of. It's all the,
They've got a problem, and the camera was showing you. And I used to think, how are you going to be able to go to work tomorrow?
Yes, that's it.
And everyone at work has seen pictures of your private areas on television. Everyone
has seen your foo-foo on television.
I mean, I just couldn't.
You've got to go into the office then the next day and face all of your work colleagues, and they've all seen your foo-foo on TV. Can you believe it? And anyone coming to the UK, Steve, for the first time, if they ever turned on the TV in the evening, they would probably be very shocked at some of the things that we actually show in this country. So I think it is possible quite often to overshare. However, I think generally, Steve, it is nice to share moments, to share something nice. Maybe you have some exciting news. Perhaps you are pregnant. You've found out that you are going to have a baby in a few months, and you are excited. You want to tell people. You want to share the good news.
Can I just make a point, actually, just backtracking slightly on what we said about people talking about problems with their bodies and going on television. There is actually a very positive side to this, that it does encourage people to talk about and make certain issues and diseases, increases the awareness in the general public to maybe symptoms of things that they ought to go to their doctor about.
But you don't want to see them.
No, but they're very. In a way, you could say that those people were very brave because they are drawing attention to conditions which some people might have that same condition and might have been too afraid to talk about it or to go to a doctor. But now they can see that that person has talked about their problem. Yes. They might then feel more emboldened or more confident to go and talk to someone or go and see the doctor. So actually there is quite an important side to that,
Yes.
and that's about disease awareness.
That's it. But
Particularly
I
when
don't
it comes to things like symptoms of cancer, for example.
Yes. But-
That people would not talk about. They wouldn't want to go to their doctor or wouldn't want to tell anybody that they've got these symptoms or this growth or this lump or something. But that talking about it in the public domain means that more people might get to a doctor and actually prevent a serious condition from developing. So we
Yes.
ought to say that.
Well, yes. Well, I think that's a fair point. But
Yes.
I would also say that your lumps and your bumps, talk about them, but if they are in certain places, we don't want to see it on television in the evening when we are trying to eat our supper, to be honest with you. So I think that's quite an interesting subject. We've covered all of that. In a few moments, Steve, we have something coming up, and it is something coming up that I think it's something fun, something we did last week, and it would appear a lot of people quite like it. We are looking at picture idioms that may be used in general day-to-day life. In your day-to-day life, you might use these things, and they are appearing in picture form as pictures. And you have to guess what the idioms are. All of that coming up in a moment. Oh, yes. There was Mr. Steve. I think Steve would be a brilliant model. I think you would be a very good model.
I'm not tall enough.
For ponchos.
You need to have sort of very unusual chiselled looks to be a model, and you need to be tall.
Oh.
And you need to have hair probably as well. So I would have probably... Yes, I think you need to be generally tall, don't you, to be a model?
Yes. I think I
Above
would have
average.
been in my youth, in my young days, if I was 17 or 18 now, I would probably be one of the biggest hits on Instagram. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else. Not now, of course. I'm too old for it now. If you're over 20, you are too old for Instagram. I think it's safe to say. Mr. Steve, guess what we're going to do now?
We're going to play a game of idioms.
Yes.
Using pictures for you to guess.
Guess the picture.
Guess the idiom from the picture Mr. Duncan puts up on that screen in front of you. And sometimes I will blow a kiss at the person that gets it right.
Oh. So here it is then, Steve. There it is on the screen now. Guess the picture idiom. I'm going to show you pictures that I've designed myself, by the way. All of these I've created using my HI, which is human intelligence, not artificial intelligence. So here is the first...
DI then.
Sorry?
It's not DI.
DI?
Yes, Duncan intelligence.
Oh, it's, yeah. Well, sorry. I really wondered what you were going to say then. Here we go. Steve, the first one. So just say what you see. Not you, Steve.
Yes, I know. I don't need to say what it is.
That's it. Here we go. So here is the first one. Are you ready? Oh.
We were just talking about body parts.
Yes. And there is a body part. Not an embarrassing one, though. Although it does look like something else that could be embarrassing. Guess the picture idiom. So all you have to do is look at the picture, and this is a well-known expression that we often use in English. Something that you might have to do during a certain situation. Maybe you are in negotiations with another person, and maybe that person doesn't agree with what you want, and perhaps you are sitting down together in front of the whole world, and then suddenly your disagreement turns to anger, and then you start shouting and screaming at each other. I mean, that would never happen in real life.
We saw that.
No, it would never happen in real life, Steve, ever. So maybe sometimes you have to do this. You have to do this thing, you see. I'm just waiting for at least one answer.
Well, I can't think of it, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, I see. Javi, that's a good guess. Javi says to have guts. Well, that is a good guess, actually.
Yes.
It's not this one. So just look at what you are...
Have you the guts for it?
Yes. So
if you say that expression, have you the guts, means have you got the stomach, or have you got the confidence or the courage to do something, which could be, I don't know, parachuting, for example,
or doing a live stream.
Yeah,
I think it takes a lot of courage to do this, I tell you, especially the way we do it.
To swallow your pride, says Inaki.
Well, let's see, shall we? Oh. Well done, Inaki. Yes. Beatrice said, eat your pride, swallow your pride.
Or gut instinct.
Yes, well that's the answer is swallow your pride. So in this, you can see the word pride is inside someone's stomach. And so they must have swallowed their pride. To swallow your pride. What does it mean, Mr. Steve?
That's a difficult one to explain. It means, you explain it, Mr. Duncan. It means that you put aside your pride.
Well, you have to give in to someone else's terms or the things they say. And you have to put your own ego or your own pride aside. You have to swallow your pride so another person can have what they want. You can't always have what you want in any situation. Sometimes you must swallow your pride.
If somebody gets a promotion over you, you have to sometimes swallow your pride, and not criticise and accept what's happened. As you say, your ego or your pride is telling you, I deserve that promotion, but somebody else has got it. So if you swallow your pride, it means you keep your feelings to yourself.
Yes.
And you don't express your disappointment too much.
It would be lovely if certain people in the public eye could learn to swallow their pride now and again. Here is another one, Mr. Steve. This is a good one. So again, just say what you see, look at what is on the screen, and here it is. Oh, very interesting. So this is a well-known expression that we use in English. Just say what you see.
I'll just explain what gut instinct is as well, because Beatrice put that up, because that's a phrase I don't think we've had before. Right. If you have a gut instinct about something, it means you feel that you should do something very strongly, and it's a feeling that comes out of nowhere, even without any particular evidence.
Yes,
it's a gut feeling.
It's generally instinct.
It's instinct. And the implication is you feel it within your body that it's the right thing or the wrong thing to do.
Your gut feeling.
Yes. I've got a gut instinct that we should not go on that trip today.
Okay.
Or we should not climb the mountain or whatever.
So let's look at this one. Today's second guess the picture idiom. And all you have to do is say what you see. It is a well-known phrase that we often use. It is often used in American English, probably more than British English.
Oh.
But it is a phrase anyway. Oh, Chihiro. Hello, Chihiro. And also Anuat as well. Very good. Very interesting. Yes, I wonder if you are right.
Any other suggestions?
Yes, interesting. Anuat and Chihiro, thank you for your guesses. Very interesting. Here is the answer, because we are running out of time today. Today's live stream has gone by so quickly, I have to say.
It has. I don't know why. It usually drags.
Here we go. Take a rain check.
Take a rain check.
So literally, that is what is happening. You are taking a rain check. To take a rain check is often used in American English. It means you postpone something, but you agree to do it at another time when both people are available or when it is suitable. Quite often used in football games or baseball as well. So if the weather is bad and the game is called off or cancelled, then they normally give you a rain check, something that will allow you to watch the match later at another time. You take a rain check. That means we will do it at another time when it is best for both of us.
Yes.
But we will still do it. We will definitely do it.
Your boss might ask you to do something at work. And, for example, it might be some task or something or project. And you don't want to do it at that point. And you might say, can I take a rain check on that?
Yes.
But I promise I will do it tomorrow or next week.
Yes. Or in the social situations.
A task that you're putting off. You've got to do it, but you're putting it off as though it were a football match and it was raining and they had to postpone it.
Yes.
Postpone is the good phrase, isn't it, Mr. Duncan, that you said?
I think so.
To delay.
So to take a rain check. So this particular phrase is often used in American English, to be honest, more than it is in British English, but we like to include everyone here on English Addict. We really do. Here's another one, Steve. Again, just say what you see. I like this one. This took me a very long time to create this morning. I can't wait to see the answers for this.
Wow, Mr. Duncan, very creative. You've been very creative today, Mr. Duncan.
I have become very creative over recent times, and all of this I'm making myself human intelligence.
Very clever of Chihiro and Anuat to get that last one. You see, we've got some clever people watching.
Good. So all you have to do is say what you see. Of course, there is a slight delay between us showing it and the answers coming in. Thank you, Anarchy, for your guess. Claudia has also made a guess. Very interesting. Yes. Anybody else? Does anyone else have a guess?
It's a very good guess. That one is, Claudia.
Yes. Any more guesses? I think we have time for 2 more, and then we will be saying goodbye. Is it a flying burger?
But it's got to be an idiom. When Mr. Duncan says, say what you see, you've got to try and construct that around an idiom.
Yes.
I mean, it does look like a running burger. Yes, it is a burger that's running, but
so
there isn't an idiom.
Think of a type of thing you eat, a certain type of thing you might eat, especially if you are in a hurry. Ooh.
Well,
let's just see.
Javi has also said the same thing that Claudia said, or Belarusia, as she appears on the live chat.
So we have correct answers from Claudia. Inaki has made a guess. Javi, and also Alexander as well. Although I'm not going to say what Alexander just said, because let's keep it nice and polite.
Oh, Beatrice has just come up with another suggestion.
Oh.
Takeaway, yes.
Okay. Here is the answer.
Oh. Claudia was first to get that right.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes, Claudia, you were first.
I'll blow you a kiss. I said I'd blow a kiss to somebody.
Also, Javi and Beatrice says fast food does seem logical. And yes, you are right. Fast food. Because there is a hamburger running. It looks as if it's in a hurry.
You've got to use your brain a bit.
It is running fast. Fast food.
You're very pleased with yourself, aren't you, over that, Mr. Duncan?
I'm feeling very pleased
with
with my current state of artistic creation, to be honest. It's the only thing that keeps me going, to be honest with you. Here's another one, Steve. I'm sure no one will get this one, but we will see what happens. Here is the next one. Oh, guess the picture idiom. Again.
Right, okay.
Are you confused?
Yes. Say what you see and then think of an idiom that's similar to it.
Yes. So what is happening on that screen in front of you? What is happening? What is it? What am I saying there with my picture idiom? Yeah.
What are you saying? We've got a mouse, Mr. Duncan.
Don't say too much, Steve.
Well, I don't know what it is.
No, but just say what you see. Or else, well, the problem is if the word is used in the idiom, then it's we might be giving the answer away. Okay, anyone? Does anyone know?
Yes, rack your brains
Come on.
for the answer. We say there's a phrase, rack your brains.
Yes.
It means you're searching intently throughout all the information that's stored in your head to try and come up with an answer to something. I've racked my brains over this problem for days and I still can't come up with a solution. Yes. Lewis has put a suggestion on.
Ooh. Beatrice. That's a good one. I like that one, Beatrice.
Anarchy.
I'm not sure if it's an idiom.
Is it an idiom, though?
I think a lot of people will be surprised when they see this. I think they might. I might get lots of hate mail. People saying, Mr. Duncan, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you put that on the screen? We should have known that. Narambastul. Oh. Narambastul. Makram. Very good guess. I like that guess. Very nice. Very good. Very interesting.
Quieter than a mouse. Shihiro has put yes. Could be, yes, could be.
Anuwat as well. Chihiro. Yes, some very interesting answers.
These are more phrases rather than idioms.
Phrases are idioms.
Yeah, but it's got a... Yeah, anyway, yeah.
Anyway, it's okay, Steve. Quiet as a mouse.
That is the answer.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Yes.
Well done. Quiet as a mouse.
As quiet as a mouse. So you can see there is a sound coming out, but it's been stopped, which means quiet, silent. As quiet as a mouse.
Oh, you clever people.
As quiet as a mouse, or of course as silent as a mouse. Again, the picture is giving you clues to the actual idiom.
Silent as a mouse, of course, was Nambrabatul. Sorry, I know I've pronounced that incorrectly. Was actually first then in that case. Silent as a mouse, quiet as a mouse. But Chihiro also got that. Anuat. So well done.
Yes.
I won't blow kisses to anyone because your names, I don't know whether you would appreciate it. You might not appreciate it because I can't tell your. I'm not going to send any kisses this time because I don't want to offend anyone.
Steve, we've got time for one more.
One, have we?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's one more. The final picture idiom for today. I'm sure lots of people will get this one. So the final one, I've tried to make it easy. The final one. There it is. Guess the picture idiom. Guess the picture idiom. I love it when it goes quiet. It's very rare that we have silence on our live stream. Have you noticed, Steve?
We
very rarely have silence. There is never any silence on our live stream. There is always something happening. So there it is. There is the final one. But what is it?
I only know one idiom around
Okay.
that object on the screen, but it doesn't seem to fit. So.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Anyone?
Guess away.
I wonder if it's possible to fall asleep on your own live stream. I wonder if you could actually be on your live stream and relaxed. For example, like Mr. Steve, because Mr. Steve always sits down. But I wonder if it's possible to actually fall asleep.
Oh.
Chihiro has made a guess.
Ah.
Very nice. Some clues. Clues. Something that is only around for a short time. Something that appears but then is gone. Maybe a certain trend. Maybe something that becomes popular for a short time and then vanishes completely into nothing again. It becomes...
That does look like an exploding egg, but it's not supposed to be, is it?
No.
It's not an exploding egg.
It's not an exploding...
It's yellow, you see. That's what was confusing me. I don't know what the green bits are either.
No.
But there's enough clue in that for some of you to have got it right.
Yes. It looks as if
we have got it right.
We might have some correct answers.
Yes, Alexander.
Mm.
It does look like an exploding egg, but it's not.
No.
I thought it was an exploding egg.
Yes, that well-known idiom, exploding egg.
I think you've probably over-egged the graphic there, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Flash in the pan. Something is there and then
well
gone.
Done, Chihiro.
So this is a flash. It is something.
It's a flash, not an exploding egg.
Not an exploding egg.
A flash.
It is a flash.
You must run these past me, Mr. Duncan, before we go on next week.
Well, I would rather that you didn't know what they were, so you don't just say them out loud like you did once in the past. Here we go, Steve. Flash in the pan, something that is popular or maybe something that is trendy and something that is followed or done by lots of people, and then it vanishes, it goes away, like fidget spinners. Who remembers fidget spinners? We might describe those as a flash in the pan. Everyone had one, and then suddenly no one had one. They were a flash in the pan. Of course, you could never say that about us. We are definitely not a flash in the pan. 18 years I've been doing this, so I think no one could ever say that, could they, Steve?
I know. No, yeah, a flash in the pan. Yes, it's somebody that something or somebody that's only around is only popular for a very short period of time. You can refer to a person, can't you? Maybe a celebrity. Oh, have you seen such and such? And I haven't seen them for. They were just a flash in the pan. They were just around for a short period of time. Their career was very short. Then they became unpopular and disappeared.
Timothy Chalamet. There we go.
Who? There you go.
There you go. That's it. I will probably get lots of hate mail for that, by the way, for saying something bad about the hallowed Timothy of Chalamet.
Never heard of them.
No.
Right, we've come to the end, Mr. Duncan.
We've come to the end, and now we face the final curtain. But, after all, I can safely say that I did it my way.
I'm going to go off into the kitchen and share a tea cake piece of bread with you, Mr. Duncan.
Ooh.
And although we will have separate cups of tea, I won't be sharing my tea with you.
No,
I'll make you a separate one.
But you can share a drink if you do the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
It's more of an experience. So lovely to be here, Mr. Duncan. Lovely to have interacted with a lot of you on the live chat today. Thank you for your contributions as ever. And I look forward to seeing you again. Will I be here next week? Yes,
I
will be here. Well, I've got concerts going on, but not on Sunday.
Good.
So look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a good week learning English.
Thank you, Mr. Steve, and we will see you next Sunday afternoon.
Bye.
There he goes. That was Mr. Steve. He's gone. Don't cry. Don't worry. He will be back with us next Sunday. Once more, as live can be. It is almost time to say goodbye. We are having the most amazing weather, as you will see in a moment, outside the window. The most glorious day. And guess what? The weather is going to stay nice all week, which is always good news. Thank you very much for your company. I hope you enjoyed playing along with the picture idiom game. Did you guess any of them right? I hope so. Even if you didn't, don't worry, because you will still learn something new from this game. Thank you very much for joining me. This is Mr. Duncan saying thanks a lot for watching. I am back with you on Wednesday. Another live stream on Wednesday. It is just me for 1 hour on Wednesday. I hope you can join me then. If you have missed today's live stream, don't worry. You can watch this again later with lovely captions. Thanks for joining me. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of the English language saying see you soon. Take care of yourselves. And of course, until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now. See you on Wednesday.